Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the state of tennis, the state of playing tennis, and if the tennis game itself, or if the game itself is growing or declining. I personally feel like the game had been declining for the past 10 to 20 years. I mean, growing up, going to the playground where there were 3 courts every Saturday and Sunday, I would arrive at 9 o'clock in the morning and be able to pretty much play until 8 o'clock at night. There would be different people coming. I would play with, the adults that were anywhere from 25 to 50 years old, to the seniors that were, 65 and up. And we would play doubles, we would play singles. People would come to the court throughout the day, play a pickup game or 2, or whoever wins stays on the court. Pretty much regularly. Throughout my childhood career, I was able to do that. But I feel like in the last 20 years, that's kind of gone away. I've gone back to that neighborhood park. I've gone to my local parks out here. And unless you bring your own game, you can't do pickup games anymore. I feel like people don't hang around the courts anymore and play because nobody else arrives. I know there are special places that are in certain neighborhoods that it still happens, but for the most part, it's not like how it used to be. I know a bunch of you belong to clubs, and as there's less and less people at the park, we're actually forced to join clubs in order to find new people to play with. But I feel like the core of where I grew up in, a lot of the stars, the professionals that kind of grew up in the 70s and the 80s playing in the parks, where they learn and hone their skills, is kind of gone. So the game, I believe today, is different now. I don't want to call it an elitist sport, but I feel like, our kids, young adults, teenagers, they don't get the same practice as they would on the grounds of a playground court. You kind of need formal training. You're dishing out a lot of money, whereas, even Venus and Serena, right, on the public playground, right? My personal hero, Peanut Louie, basically played in Chinatown. So it's turned into something different now, where you kind of have to go and pay in order to, let's say, even play, not even thinking about getting good. So I feel like, the game was going on a downward slope. The USTA, prints up all these reports every year that says, oh, the game is growing. I don't see it on the public courts, right? I think it was dying. I think tennis was a dying sport. So the good thing is, with this COVID going on, COVID resurrected the game, I feel like. The public courts are full now. People are bringing rackets to me that are literally 30 years old with grips that are falling off. But that's okay, The strings are stuck together. But that's okay. I'm wiping the cobwebs off for you. But, you guys are playing, though. That was a nice shot in the arm for the game of tennis. Tennis needed that. They didn't need COVID, but they needed a shot in the arm for people to think about tennis again. And I feel that COVID definitely benefited tennis. And it'll hopefully continue to benefit tennis because it's a fun sport. We all love the sport. It brings people back to the playground, the grassroots of tennis. People are hitting against the wall again. People are getting exercise from the game. You're getting sun, right? It's good, easy exercise, as I call it all the time. I've been driving out to the local parks because I have a little girl, and it's amazing that the courts are full. There's people waiting. People are playing with each other, right? Kind of safety-wise, right? With the COVID deal, everybody's taking their precautions, but it's nice to see the courts full. So when all this COVID is over, I'd like to challenge you to continue the game of tennis that we all love. Now go back out there, right? Stay on the court, do pickup games, play with people you don't know, right? From the neighborhood, right? Let's get tennis back to the grassroots and back to the playground, because that's where we learn the best. So that's just my 2 cents on the state of the game of tennis right now. I feel like, to summarize, I feel like the game was dying, and I think a bunch of you would agree with me with that. I know the numbers say otherwise, but I don't see it. Do you agree with me? Let me know. All right? But definitely, COVID helped the sport. It gave it a shot in the arm that we needed. So thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.